welcome you to our workshop. We're excited that you're here to help us kick off the 2022-2023 school year. Please note that this session will be delivered in English and Spanish with interpretation by our interpreter, Ms. Ruby Valdivia. We ask that you go ahead and share your first and last name in the chat. As Jasmine mentioned, your name will be entered in a drawing for a special prize at the end of the session. Also, please note that this meeting will be recorded and will be available to view on our YouTube channel. You may search LUSD Parent and Family Engagement YouTube or click on the shared link to access.
Bienvenidos a nuestro taller. Estamos muy emocionadas de darles la bienvenida y tenerles aquí hoy para ayudarnos a darle el inicio al nuevo año escolar 2022-2023. Por favor, tengan en cuenta que esta sesión se impartirá en inglés con interpretación al español por nuestra intérprete, la señorita Ruby Valdivia. Les pedimos amablemente que compartan su nombre y apellido en la charla. Todos los nombres se inscribirán en un sorteo para un premio especial al final de esta sesión. Además, esta reunión se grabará y el video estará disponible para ver en nuestro canal de YouTube. Puede buscar LUSD, Parent and Family Engagement, en YouTube o hacer clic en el enlace compartido para poder acceder.
Now, in order for us to have a more effective workshop, we would like to share some norms that will help us during our time together. First of all, we do ask that you go ahead and mute your microphone by clicking on that mute button when not sharing. Second, please feel free to go ahead and turn off your video camera if you prefer, but we'd love to see your lovely faces this morning. And finally, we ask that for your patience because we may run into a connection problem.
Para que podamos facilitar un taller más ameno, nos gustaría compartir algunas normas que nos ayudarán durante nuestro tiempo juntos. En primer lugar, les pedimos que silencien su micrófono haciendo clic en el botón de silencio cuando no estemos compartiendo. Segundo, siéntase libre de apagar su cámara de video si así lo prefiere. Y finalmente, les pedimos paciencia en caso de que tengamos dificultades técnicas.
Thank you, Ruby. We also invite you to validate everyone's opinions and feelings as this is a safe space. Please share one at a time so that we hear what everyone has to say. We ask that you are engaged during your time with us together and actively participate when asked to share out. And finally, please maintain confidentiality as we share our experiences. We ask that you do not share any names of students, other parents, or staff members.
También los invitamos a validar y respetar las opiniones y los sentimientos de todos, ya que es un espacio seguro. Compartir uno a la vez. Cada vez que nos expresemos, les pedimos que solamente se exprese una persona a la vez. Queremos escuchar lo que todos tienen que decir. Estar comprometidos. Les pedimos que se mantengan comprometidos durante su tiempo con nosotros. Participar activamente. Sea un partícipe activo cuando se le pida compartir. Y por último, pero no menos importante, les pedimos que por favor mantengan la confidencialidad mientras compartimos nuestras experiencias. No necesitamos utilizar nombres de estudiantes, padres o personal, por favor.
All right, and so this is our first workshop for this new school year, 2022-2023 school year. I see some familiar faces and familiar names, but for those of you who I've not yet had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Fauna Blanco, and I'm here alongside my best friend and good colleague, Jasmine Velasco. We both work here as family engagement specialists under the Department of Equity, Access, and Instructional Services.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm going to wait for Ruby to translate. Go ahead, Ruby.
Thank you. ¿Qué tal? Buen día. Me llamo Fauna Blanco y es un placer poder presentar junto a mi colega Jasmine Velasco. Ambas trabajamos como especialistas en participación de familia bajo el Departamento de Equidad, Acceso y Servicios de Educación.
Hello, everyone. As Fauna mentioned, I'm Jasmine Velasco, and I'm happy that you're here with us today. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that by the end of today's session, or today's workshop, that you will feel better prepared to kick off this new school year. So thank you for being here.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Jasmine Velasco y estoy feliz de estar aquí con ustedes hoy. Gracias por estar con nosotros, tomarse el tiempo de compartir con nosotros. Esperamos que al final del taller de hoy se sientan mejor equipados para comenzar este nuevo año escolar.
In our work as family engagement specialists, our main goal is to support our families by helping them with understanding and navigating the school system. offering educational and leadership opportunities, and connecting families to resources and tools within and outside of our district. We hope that during the course of the school year, we can connect with you through these various services and opportunities.
En nuestro trabajo, el objetivo principal es apoyar a las familias ayudándoles a comprender y navegar el sistema escolar, ofreciéndoles oportunidades educativas y liderazgo y conectarlos a los recursos y herramientas de apoyo disponibles dentro y fuera de nuestro distrito. Ojalá que durante el tiempo escolar, el transcurso de este año escolar, nos podamos conectar a través de estos varios servicios y oportunidades.
Now, without further ado, we'd like for you to join us in a quick community building activity before we get into today's topic. Now, in the chat, or you can unmute if you like, please go ahead and tell us what season you prefer. So between the two seasons pictured here, we have summer and we also have fall. Between the two, which do you prefer?
Ahora, sin más preámbulo y antes de entrar en el tema de hoy, hagamos rápidamente una actividad que va a ser nuestro generador de la comunidad juntos. Díganos o compártanos en el chat qué estación prefiere y por qué, ya sea verano o otoño. Les pido que por favor lo ingresen en el chat.
I see a lot of fall right now. I think we're getting tired of the summer weather, the summer heat, right? I see Miss Naú Lezama. She said both, las dos. You know, I felt a little colder last night. I don't know about you, but I kind of liked it. So I think I'm going to go with fall.
Someone says they can't deal with the heat. And I love the heat.
Fíjense que ayer por la noche, no sé por qué, pero sentí como que estuvo un poco más frío. Y dice Jasmine que a ella le fascina el verano.
Anyone like to unmute and share with us? You can go ahead and feel free to do so.
Quitar su silenciador y compartir con nosotros, siéntanse libres de hacerlo, por favor. Sean bienvenidos.
All right. Okay, so if there's no one that'd like to unmute, we go ahead and move on to our workshop. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Thank you for participating.
Muchas gracias a todos por compartir y participar.
Thank you, Ruby. Please stop me if I, jump ahead.
Very good. Thank you,
for
Father.
today's goals, we'd like, the purpose of today's workshop is to provide practical tips and strategies to support you in preparing your children and your youth up for a successful return to school, as well as share how we can partner this school year.
Y las metas del taller de hoy, el propósito es el poder brindarles consejos prácticos y estrategias para ayudar a esperar a nuestros niños y jóvenes para un regreso exitoso a la escuela, al igual que compartir cómo podemos asociarnos este año escolar.
So let's get started with some helpful tips for a successful return to school. Since the day has come, I think, we have one today and then tomorrow is the first day of school, right?
How's everyone feeling about the first day?
Entonces, comencemos con algunos consejos útiles para un regreso a las clases exitoso, ya que el día ha llegado y mañana es el primer día de regreso a clase. ¿Qué tal se sienten? Siéntanse libres de compartir en el chat o quitando el silenciador, por favor.
Well, we hope that everyone is excited for the first day of school. I know we are. We're happy that you're here with us today. And we'll love to discuss how we can incorporate some best practices, such as asking questions, how practicing routines, giving time, making connections, and also celebrating can not only help our children as we transition, but also us as caregivers, whether you be a parent, a grandparent, an auntie, an uncle, supporting your child. This will help us transition into the school year more successfully.
Bueno, esperamos que ustedes, tanto como nosotras, estén súper emocionados de este nuevo inicio de año. Discutiremos cómo podemos incorporar algunas de las mejores prácticas, como el hacer preguntas, practicar rutinas, dar tiempo, hacer conexiones y también encontrar el tiempo para celebrar puede ayudar no solo a nuestros hijos, sino también a nosotros como las personas claves en sus vidas en la transición al año nuevo escolar con más éxito.
Now, going back to school is a transition for all children, right? Regardless of their age, whether they're entering kinder or going into their senior year. So asking questions about how they feel, about their feelings can help our kids. Like I said, regardless of how old they are, open up and share how they feel about going back to school. Now, one thing that we can do is ask a few different types of questions. And some of them that we have here that can really help us get that conversation going are some examples here, such as, what do you think will be the best part of the school day? What do you think might feel hard about starting school? And what are you excited to learn about this school year? You know, what worries you? They have worries as well. And one area that we really want to expand on is what the question that you can ask our children is, what can I, right, as the caregiver or the champion, you know, their champion, do for them to help them better prepare for the school year?
Y regresar a la escuela es una transición para todos los niños sin importar su nivel de grado. Hacer preguntas sobre sus sentimientos puede ayudar a los niños pequeños o más grandes, sin importar la edad, a abrirse y compartir cómo se sienten acerca de volver a la escuela. Algunas preguntas que se pueden hacer para quizá poder iniciar la conversación serían: ¿cuál crees que será la mejor parte del día escolar? ¿Qué crees que podría sentirse difícil a la hora de comenzar la escuela? ¿Qué te emociona aprender este año o qué te preocupa? Y por último, pero no menos importante, ¿qué puedo hacer yo para ayudarte a sentirte listo para la escuela?
So how many of you have been asking some of these questions that you can share with us? How are our kids feeling right now? I know that I have a senior who's about to enter her last year in high school. So for me, I have one child, and this is my last experience, right? So I'm it's a bittersweet moment for me as a mama. And I know for her, she's excited, getting ready to move on. But there's a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions involved here. But who can share how your kids are doing and what kind of questions you've been asking them?
¿Quién nos puede compartir cómo es que están sus hijos y qué tipo de preguntas les han estado haciendo? Yo, como por ejemplo, en lo personal, tengo una hija en el último año de prepa y es un año muy emocionante porque se van a vivir cosas, claro, por última vez, más sin embargo, ella va a estar empezando nuevas experiencias y todo va a ser nuevo y es un nuevo inicio, más sin embargo, pues es emocionante. Entonces yo a ustedes les pregunto qué es o cuáles son el tipo de preguntas que ustedes les hacen a sus hijos.
And feel free to use the chat. We really want to hear from you guys to see how our kids are feeling and how you as a caregiver is feeling. So you can share in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable unmuting, we would like to hear from everyone.
I can't use my chat. I don't know why.
Okay, I can hear you though. Who's sharing with us?
This is Miss Mitchell, Daryl Sims' mom.
Oh, welcome, Ms. Mitchell.
Yeah, I've been on here, but I've been trying to figure out how can I use the chat. My phone is crazy. I'm
maybe
off
if
and
you
on because I'm at
slide-
work, okay?
Are you on the chat piece already, on the chat section?
No, not at all.
Maybe you can slide. I know when you're logged in through the phone, we can slide. I'm going to try.
Okay.
And if you
Okay.
slide, there'll be a section where they'll have different options, and one of them will be the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at the wave my hand and all that good stuff. I just got to come
Okay.
back in and on because I'm at work doing 3 things at the same time.
Okay, don't
Okay.
worry, we got you
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Tenemos una madre que está teniendo dificultades técnicas y solamente le estábamos guiando para que pudiese conectarse y utilizar el chat para poder expresar su opinión. Now, Lesama?
Sí, Ms. Lesama, go ahead.
Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días, bienvenida.
Mi niño, al contrario, como los demás, no está nervioso, no está ansioso. Él está emocionado porque extraña a sus compañeros. Está emocionado porque por fin está con su mejor amigo. Siempre ha estado en el programa dual, pero con su mejor amiguito desde el kinder han estado en la clase opuesta, pero por fin ya están en el mismo salón y sus amiguitos que les quedan bien les quedó en el mismo salón. Entonces está listo y para empezar mañana.
Thank you for sharing, Ms. Lesama.
Gracias por compartir. My son isn't nervous or anxious at all. In fact, the contrary. He's actually happy because he misses his classmates and is finally going to see his best friend. And he's been doing dual immersion, and he's ready. He's ready to start this new year and ready to start tomorrow. And they're finally in the same class. So, éxito a tu niño now.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing, yes.
I'm sure a lot of our kids may have mixed emotions, right? Some might be nervous, some might be excited, but we welcome all of those feelings. We tell our kids that even those nervousness, those are good. It's good to feel those nerves, you know? It's just how we work through our nerves that can get in the way of our success. So walking kids through their feelings is very important to just make them feel better prepared for the school year. So thank you for sharing. I know we
Muchas
have some
gracias.
also comments in the chat. So we think we have Ms. Ashley Llamas. Thank you for sharing. Okay. And feel free as part of the community. Remember, everyone on the call here, we're either, right, we're an important person in our child's life, whether it be a grandchild, a nephew, a niece, your own biological child. So we're a part of the community. Feel free to respond to your peers in the chat, give them encouraging words as we're presenting, because we want to get everyone's collective experience and support, and we want everyone to feel that, not just from us to you, but from each other. So feel free to also share back in the chat and respond to your peers.
Sabemos que nuestros hijos actualmente, por el tiempo de que van a iniciar otra vez el año escolar, se sienten muy nerviosos o ansiosos, más sin embargo, el tesoro reside en que nosotros les podamos ayudar a mejor gestionar sus emociones para que puedan estar preparados para este nuevo año escolar. Y muchas gracias, les agradecemos de antemano el que todos compartan. Quiero que sepan que colectivamente todos aquí importamos, más sin embargo, también les pedimos que por favor siéntanse libres de interactuar con otras personas que están en este taller para hacer esta experiencia un poco más amena y alentarnos mutuamente.
And the last question we really wanted to highlight was, what is the question that includes us? So what can I do to help you feel ready for school? And I think sometimes at least I speak for myself. It's like when I speak to my, have you done this? Have you done that? Right? We constantly go through the motions of asking them everything, if they've done certain things to get ready. But one thing that I'm getting in the habit is like, what can I do to support you? You know, what can mama do? Or what can dad do? You know, to make you feel more ready. She's anxious, and maybe as a high schooler, they're starting later, and she wants to know, are you going to drop me off a little too early, or whatever it is? We invite you to go home and talk to them today and ask them, besides those other questions, what can we do for them to just help them get excited and be better prepared? So thank you for sharing in the chat. We see kinder parents. So like we said, all these tips are from kinder, can work all the way to high school.
Y una pregunta muy importante que podemos hacer es, ¿qué puedo hacer yo para ayudarte a sentirte listo para la escuela? Yo sé que mi hija se está preparando para el último año de preparatoria y a veces se preocupa o se pone un poco ansiosa de que ellos, los de último año de preparatoria, normalmente inician un poco más tarde, entonces quizá le preocupa de que me vaya a dejar temprano, quizá un poco más temprano de lo debido o no sé, cosas de ese tipo de tema. Mas, sin embargo, les alentamos a compartir consejos y compartir opiniones porque sin importar el grado, aquí todo es relevante y todo nos ayuda como padres.
Okay. So once your child starts sharing, you know, just listen and work through any worries that they may have together.
Y una vez que su hijo empiece a compartir, les pedimos que por favor ayuden a sus hijos a poder gestionar cualquier preocupación que tengan para que todo se haga más ameno y más fácil de llevar.
Okay. Next slide. Thank you. You know, also when kids know what to expect, it can make the transitions easier for everyone, and we do mean everyone. So if we start by sitting together and mapping out what tomorrow and, you know, the next week would look like, it would help ease their worry, their anxiety. So I think it's important for us not to shy away from getting a little bit more stricter on our timelines with them, you know, whether it's their sleep habits, whether it's the screen time or any other activities that may interfere with them feeling ready to get back on track. I think it's time to do that, get them kind of wheel them back. And I know that for us, you know, the first day is tomorrow. So what I like to hear from you guys is also, what are some things you've already been doing that you can share with the rest of us, either in the chat or on mute? We'll wait for Ms. Ruby to translate, and then we can start sharing out.
Thank you, Jasmine. Cuando los niños saben qué esperar, las transiciones pueden ser un poco más fáciles para todos. comiencen sentándose juntos y planificando cómo será el día escolar de su hijo. Esto ayudará a aliviar la preocupación y la ansiedad, así que no duden en ser más estricto con las expectativas para los horarios de dormir, los horarios de pantalla, tiempo de pantalla y otras actividades que pueden interferir con que ellos se sientan listos para volver a la normalidad. Así que abrimos el espacio para que ustedes puedan compartir con nosotros qué han sido algunas de las cosas que ustedes han estado implementando ahora que sus hijos van a regresar a la clase.
And thank you. I see Ms. Marisa Velasquez. Thank you for sharing. She says we've already started their bedtime a few days ago. Perfect. Yeah, if we do it the night before the first day, it's a little tougher. So you're already on the right track.
Marisa Velázquez compartió que ella ya empezó los horarios de dormir hace unos días porque dijo, Ms. Jazmín, porque nosotros entendemos que normalmente si lo hacemos un día antes del inicio de escuela puede ser un tanto difícil para los niños.
We also have shutting down screen time early. Thank you, Michonne Watkins, for sharing that. Absolutely. You know, in the summertime, even the adults, for myself, you stay a little bit up late longer. You're on the phone, watching movies, whatever it is. So screen time, very good.
Ms. Watkins compartió que también está limitando el tiempo de la pantalla de sus hijos y lo entendemos porque normalmente se nos pasa el tiempo a veces estando en el teléfono, utilizando aplicaciones o viendo películas, ya sea, pero se pasa volando el tiempo. Entonces es algo muy importante el poder limitar y el limitar el tiempo de pantalla para que nuestros hijos estén preparados y puedan descansar lo suficiente para su próximo día.
Thank you. Yes, we see a lot of comments in the chat. And okay, we see some of they're talking about even like just getting them starting to chart. Remember what has to be done before going to school, from before school, after school, keeping track of their day without being on the screen too long. All the tips you're saying here are absolutely, you're already on track. You're doing what you have to do. So you sharing them with the rest of us is, we welcome them. Now,
todos los tips y los consejos que han compartido ya van por muy buen camino, entonces les agradecemos mucho el compartir con nosotros estos consejos y lo que ustedes han estado aplicando con sus hijos.
I do see one here that says to try to take a bath and read to her before she gets sleepy or she gets sleepy. That's wonderful. I know that it's some kids, if you send them to bed a little, now that it's, you know, they have to go back and go to bed a little earlier, they might say they're not sleepy, right? They might fight that. So I used to tell when I was raising my niece, I would say to her, go to your room, and if you're not sleepy, it's okay. Lay in your bed, read a book, draw, sketch, whatever it is, but you have to unwind and kind of get ready for that to go to bed, even if you're not sleepy. So just getting them into that quiet space, wherever it is, for them to just start relaxing and getting into that habit of work. So if you're reading or they're reading, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Tenemos un comentario de Ashley Llamas que dijo que normalmente intenta darle un baño a su hija antes de que ella esté lista para dormir. Así se puede, no sé, como que le dé un poco más sueño. Entonces, lo que Ms. Velasco recomienda es que cuando ella estaba criando a su sobrina, es muy importante que, aunque les digamos, anda, ve a dormir o ve a acostarte, y si no tienen sueño, que les digamos o les vayamos a instruir que pueden leer, pueden dibujar en lo que les llegue el sueño.
So yeah, find an activity to get them, you know, to unwind quietly in their bed before, you know, to get them back on track on their sleeping new timelines.
Así que es muy bueno encuentren otras actividades en lo que les llegue el sueño, para que no se mantengan fuera de la habitación y despiertos y luego que nunca les llegue el sueño.
Thank you for sharing. And I do see other comments and questions outside of our topic. So we're going to get to those at the end of our presentation, okay? So we're not ignoring them. We're going to get to them.
Muchas gracias por compartir. Sí veo muchas preguntas y comentarios en nuestro chat que no son respecto a nuestro taller, mas sin embargo no piensen o sientan que les estamos ignorando. Les vamos a responder a todas sus preguntas al final de este taller.
Thank you. Next slide. Now, especially during the first days and weeks of school, it is important to really try to stick to those routines that we had pre-mapped earlier on, right? Whatever they were, we got to be really, just try to be consistent with them. and some additional pointers to consider, especially the first days, because the first days can be a little tough for our families, right? Is for you as their caregiver to communicate that confidence. Really get excited about the school year. Some of them might know who their teacher might be, or some of them already have talked to their friends and what classes are you going to get, or whose class do you have it, who you're in. And they might get nervous or whatever it is. Just stay positive, really communicate that confidence in your words and your actions, so that even if they have those anxieties, that your demeanor will help them just relax and feel better about the school year. Also, plan for extra time. I don't know about you, but even for myself, coming back, I'm on the summer schedule as well. I'm off in the summer. I come back, and this morning I thought I had my schedule down, but I even for myself, I needed extra time. I forget how it is to be, to get your lunches ready, to get your clothes ready, all of those little things that you might think, oh, I got it in the morning. Time's ticking. So whatever we can do the night before to plan for that extra time, really, I know this really helps us in the mornings. The less things we got to get done in the morning, the smoother our mornings will be. I've tested that out many times. And if worries do come up with our kids, because they will, or they may, right? We might have some kids who are excited and they're not really worried, but you may have some worriers, right? Don't engage in lengthy conversations about their worries. Do validate their worry. But try to redirect them with something positive, or come up with a solution together so that they don't get stuck on that worry feeling. Because if they get stuck there, that's what, gets their anxiety a little bit higher. So just redirect them whichever way you can. Your children best. Redirect them and give them those words of encouragement, or try to find solutions together. And also, some of the kids, you might be seeing some little minor behaviors, right? They might become, especially if they're a little younger, they might become more whining or repeating questions to things that you might think they have the answer to. It's just their nerves speaking. This morning I was speaking to my niece. She had her greeting meet, and she's like, she took her backpack, and she's like, I told you won't need your backpack today. And she's like, well, where am I going to put it? I said, what do you think? Where can you put your backpack? Finding solutions together, and that helps them, okay?
Y especialmente los primeros días y semanas de clases es muy importante tratar de apegarse a estas rutinas planificando previamente. Algunos indicadores adicionales a considerar son el comunicarnos con confianza, comuníquese con sus hijos con confianza, planifique tiempo extra adicional. ¿Por qué? Porque a veces, como por ejemplo para mí, llegó esta mañana y juré que tenía todo listo, mas sin embargo, sí me encontré necesitando un poco de tiempo adicional. Entonces, es muy importante el ser organizados y planificar nuestro tiempo de antemano. Pueden sugerir preocupaciones y está bien si sus hijos sugieren preocupaciones, mas sin embargo, no hay que necesariamente enfocarnos en eso, porque cuando nos enfocamos se expande. Entonces, no participen en largas conversaciones sobre esas preocupaciones, porque más crecen. Use la dirección, como por ejemplo, ¿qué quieres para tu merienda después de la escuela? No sé, traten, no como de desviar la atención. Claro, el reconocer que tienen una preocupación, mas sin embargo, darles la paz suficiente como para entender y poder gestionar sus emociones durante el día y no sentirse como que va a ser un día catastrófico, ¿no? Ignoren comportamientos menores como por ejemplo el lloriquear, repetir preguntas, etcétera, porque primordialmente los hijos normalmente lo hacen por ansiedad o porque están preocupados o cosas, ese tipo de temas o ese tipo de emociones.
Okay. So I hope whichever emotions our kids are feeling, whether it's anxiety, nervousness, or excitement, that we validate them and we just continue to support them.
Espero que cualquier tipo de emociones que sientan nuestros hijos, ya sean preocupación, ansiedad, miedo, las validemos, por supuesto, como padres y les sigamos apoyando para mejor poder gestionar sus emociones.
Next slide. So let's say after all the planning, right, all the best planning, all the routines you've mapped out, even after all those efforts, just know that things may just not go as planned. That's just the way, life is. We can be over prepared, and sometimes things will happen that are out of our control, right? Your child may push back or have a difficult time getting back on track. If that happens, just know you're not alone, and don't give up. Instead, we really want you to find within our community the support that you need to support our students. And that's the main reason why we're here today. We want to make sure that you know that you have a whole village behind you to support you. And we want to invite you to reach out to support whenever you need it. And always start off with your child's school. They are the closest to your child in terms of the relationship. And even so, your child's teacher will be even the closest to your student, right? So make sure you reach out to support early on. The earlier, the better. If you start seeing any types of, things that get in the way of your child being successful in coming back to school, we're here to support, okay? If it's not your child's school, we know you have friends, neighbors, family. You know who they are. We always tell the kids, or one thing that I tell my child, you must have at least 5 people in your life that you can count on. Who are those 5 people? And we want our kids to feel secure. If mom, can't help you one day, or dad, or grandpa, or auntie, uncle, who are those people in your life that you can count on? So please, we invite you to also help your child identify who those people are. And with a quick activity, name the 5 people besides myself, that can support you, that can help you along the way, and it's important that they also know who their village is. Also, if reaching out to the school, to your neighbors and friends, there's still some difficulties and your child is not as successful as, our hopes and dreams are for them, seek out for student services. We're here, we have a department that we can also connect you to mental health or any other type of services that you may need. We want to make sure that you know that if the school can support you and directly, there's not the staff there, they can connect you to someone who can.
Y al final de todos nuestros esfuerzos es posible que las cosas no salgan como previsto, porque así es la vida y no todo siempre sale como planeado, más sin embargo, sus hijos pueden retroceder y tener dificultades para volver a agarrar la rutina. Si eso sucede, no se rinda. En cambio, sí hay que hacer las próximas cosas que les voy a mencionar, como por ejemplo el buscar apoyo. La escuela de su hijo es un punto de inicio muy importante para que usted pueda buscar apoyo, porque si nos ponemos a pensar realmente, nuestros hijos pasan la mayor parte del tiempo en la escuela, es como su segundo hogar, como así llamarle, ¿no? Entonces, buscar apoyo en la escuela, a sus vecinos, amigos, apoyo para la salud mental por medio de servicios estudiantiles. Es muy importante que siempre tengamos, es más que importante, es primordial que una persona, cualquier persona, tanto como nuestros hijos, tengan a 5 personas con las cuales puedan contar, porque es muy importante el tener un apoyo, sea socioemocional, para poder encarrillar o poder llevar a cabo los días, porque no todos los días son buenos y a veces tenemos dificultades. Si usted nota que quizás su hijo está teniendo dificultades y no está siendo académicamente exitoso, siempre siéntase libre, claro, de iniciar con el punto de contacto que sería la escuela. Después de ello, la escuela les puede agarrar los apoyos necesarios y si en la escuela siente que, no sé, que lo mandan al distrito y le dicen, ¿saben qué? Pues pueden ir a servicios estudiantiles, con mucho gusto, el distrito les estaría dispuestos a ayudar. Entonces, no se sientan chiquitos a la hora de que sus hijos estén atravesando por problemas, porque la ayuda está disponible y estamos aquí para ayudarles y apoyarles en todo lo que sea necesario.
So we hope that one thing you can do today to, again, help them feel better, ask them, who are the 5 people that you can count on that's going to help you get through not only school, but throughout life? That's one homework assignment today.
Y les dejo de tarea que le pregunten a su hijo cuáles son las 5 personas en las cuales tú puedes buscar como ayuda, como apoyo. adicional. ¿Cuáles son esas 5 personas? Y es muy importante el poder enumerar esas 5 personas porque el éxito en la vida reside en tener buenas relaciones con los demás, ya que no es una batalla que se lleva sola, sino en conjunto con los demás.
Thank you. And lastly, just make a plan. You know, it's important to coordinate with the school on a good plan to help our children get back on track if for whatever reason, you know, they're having a hard time transitioning back into school.
Y por último, les pedimos que por favor hagan un plan para poder coordinar con la escuela, un buen plan para apoyar las necesidades de su estudiante.
Next slide. Now, we really hope that you found these tips helpful. There were just a few practical tips that just based on what you're sharing in the chat, you are already doing it. More than anything, it was for us to come together as a community of, you know, families championing for our students to really share out and connect right before we start school. So we hope that if you found a new tip that you find helpful, put it into practice, you know, and as you're getting ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow's the first day, and also for the coming days and weeks that are coming. And more than anything, we just want you to know that we're here to support and that we want to partner with you this school year.
Y les propongo que nos asociemos. Esperamos que estos consejos que les hayan resultado útiles mientras se preparan para mañana y los próximos días, es más, este próximo año escolar. Más que nada queremos que sepa que estamos aquí para apoyarles y esperamos poder asociarnos para ser exitosos en este nuevo año escolar que nos espera.
Next slide. And some ways we can partner this year. We want to stay connected. You know, we're going to have an Instagram page that you can follow where we can, you know, put announcements of different events, workshops, not just hosted from us, but either from our department, just different things that are happening for our families. So we're going to blast that information out, look out for it and your communication, whether the emails that you receive through the district, and please follow our page. Also, we would love for you to join us for upcoming learning opportunities via our workshops. Last year, all of our workshops were held virtually, but this year we're going to transition. Even for us and our families, it's going to be a transition to go back in person for the workshops. We had not done that last year. Everything was virtual. So we're going to try that out again to see how our families respond to that. We want to make sure that if you are unable to come to a workshop that we have during the scheduled times, one thing that we did last year was that everything was recorded and we would send it out and post in our YouTube channel. So even if you weren't able to come, you were able to access the information. And for us, that's really important that for our working families who are not able to maybe attend a scheduled morning session per se, that they have access to the information. So for us, we're going to do our very best that even if we're holding it in person, somehow, if it's not recorded, that we record ourselves at a later time and send out that information for all of you. So please know that this year we are transitioning back in person. Okay. And we welcome any feedback as to how, you know, that responds for you and your needs. Okay. Also, we do invite you also to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I just mentioned, if you're not able to come to the events in person and you want to capture any information shared via a workshop, follow the YouTube channel. We're gonna paste these links in our chat in a moment so that you can have this information as well. Okay, so just look out for this information, both our Instagram handle, we're gonna send it out on an email blast. So please follow us so you can stay connected. Join us on a workshop whenever you can. If you can't and you're interested in the information, watch it, the recording in the YouTube channel. So we're going to put those links right now. Give me one moment. I believe they're in the chat. So you may copy those links and have that information. Okay.
Y algunas formas en que podemos asociarnos son mantenernos conectados. Síganos en Instagram. Acabamos de crear una cuenta de Instagram en donde vamos a estar compartiendo información y divulgando mucha información, no solamente de nuestros talleres que vamos a llevar a cabo por parte de nosotros, más sin embargo de nuestro departamento, el Departamento de Equidad, Acceso y Servicios de Instrucción. Así que les pedimos que por favor se mantengan atentos. La información de nuestro Instagram, el nombre de usuario, lo vamos a hacer disponible a ustedes mediante correo electrónico. Así que manténganse al tanto una vez reciban ese correo electrónico. Les pedimos que por favor se unan a nosotros para las próximas actividades de aprendizaje y desarrollo comunitario. Solamente quiero que tengan en cuenta que como es un año escolar, vamos a estar regresando de forma presencial con todos nuestros talleres, más sin embargo, si usted no puede ver nuestro taller o puede asistir personalmente a nuestro taller, siempre lo arribamos a la página de YouTube para que usted lo pueda visualizar cuando usted tenga tiempo. Por último, pero no menos importante, les pedimos que por favor se suscriban a nuestro canal de YouTube. Si no pueden unirse a nosotros durante nuestros horarios programados, estaremos arribando los talleres para que los vea durante su tiempo libre. Les agradecemos a todos su tiempo y el invertir con nosotros. Vamos a estar viendo cómo es que nuestros padres y la comunidad responde a el que nosotros regresemos de forma presencial y que los talleres solamente estén disponibles de forma presencial y obviamente en línea porque los vamos a estar arribando.
Next slide. So yes, hopefully we'll be able to see each other face to face at our upcoming events. And these are just some dates for the month of August that you may want to look out for. On Tuesday, August 23rd, from 10 to 11:30 a.m., we're going to have an in-person workshop. And this one is specifically for any family who has a student who's a newcomer to the country or who has English as a second language, who needs to become proficient. Our EL coordinator is going to be going through some important information to help our EL students become successful. And that's going to be on August the 23rd. Then on Thursday, August 25th, from 10 to 11:30, it's also going to be an in-person meeting. This one's going to be, we're trying to see where are parent leaders, new parents who would like to really learn how to navigate the school system, not only how to navigate it, but how to support other families in navigating the school system and want to learn some of those leadership skills. We would love to meet some new parents who would like to learn more about how to become a parent leader for our school district. And that's going to be also, like I mentioned, Thursday, August 25th, in person from 10 to 11:30.
Y los próximos eventos que llevaremos a cabo en agosto, el 23 de marzo tendremos un taller de 10 a 11 de la mañana y va a ser para los estudiantes.
August. Sorry, Ruby. I think it's August.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. 23 de agosto, que cae en martes, de 10 a 11:30 de la mañana, tendremos un taller para todos aquellos que son aprendices de inglés o apenas acaban de llegar al país o que tienen el español como un segundo idioma y quieren, perdón, el inglés como un segundo idioma y quieren ser proficientes. Tendremos a nuestra coordinadora de aprendices de inglés ahí disponible para que nos pueda dar un taller respecto a ello. Después de ello, el jueves, agosto 25, de 10 a 11:30 de la mañana, tendremos otro taller que trata de reunión de reclutamiento para el programa de liderazgo de padres. Básicamente lo que estamos haciendo es reclutando a padres para poderles dar las herramientas necesarias para poder ser líderes dentro de nuestro distrito. Entonces, les alentamos para que se unan a nosotros, ya que sería un placer el poder trabajar con todos ustedes.
Okay. And I see that Ms. Alvarez has her hand raised. Go ahead. You can unmute. No? Okay. Next slide. So we're getting close to the end of our time together today. And what we want to do is we really want you to reflect and really share with us via the chat. What will you do differently tomorrow based on what we discussed and shared today? Not just what we shared with you, but what our other families shared in the chat. You know, like we said, this is a community. We really want to be able to be here to support one another. So if you can let us know in the chat, what will you do differently tomorrow based on what you learned today? So we would love to see some comments entered in the chat.
Y una pequeña reflexión. ¿Qué hará de manera diferente mañana en base a lo que aprendió hoy? Siéntanse libres de compartir en el chat.
So we're going to give you a few moments to share your thoughts with us in the chat.
Les daremos un par de minutos para que puedan compartir sus opiniones en el chat.
And I know we have a hand raised. Ms. Lisama? Go ahead.
Yo sé que por lo menos para mí, yo voy a estar lista, tener todas mis cosas listas. Yo levantarme temprano, yo para cuando levantar los niños ya tener el desayuno listos. A mí me gusta hacer ejercicio en la mañana, entonces tengo que hacer eso y bañarme, estar todo lista para ellos, para no estar, porque yo estuve tarde y luego a ellos, ándale, mi ándale,
Yeah.
ándale.
Yeah.
Yo tengo que estar lista para no irlos a ellos y no es culpa de ellos, porque tengo
Yes.
mis responsabilidades primero y luego ya enfocarme para que tengamos un día calmado.
You got this, Mrs. Sama. Thank you for sharing.
Now, Lisama said that I know that for me, I have to be ready. So I like to work out in the morning, and I have to make sure that I'm ready and I'm on time so that my kids are on time and it doesn't feel like we are short of time. So, yeah, just make sure that I'm ready in the morning and everything flows smoothly.
And that's absolutely correct. They really do. Our energy, right? It rubs off on them. So we're ready to go. We're more calm. We're not going to be stressing ourselves or them. So our mornings will go smoother just because we're ready as their caregivers. So that's perfect. Anyone else? And like I said, don't be shy in the chat. Okay, I see some comments. Ms. Maria, I'm having a hard time here. Let's see.
Sebastian?
Sebastian, she's going to motivate her children to keep pushing forward and support them in all that they do.
María Sebastián dijo que iba a motivar a sus hijos a salir adelante y apoyarlos en todo.
And then we have Mr. Edwin Cruz, who's sharing also that they're going to demonstrate support from the family towards her child on her first day of school, and that she knows that they're with her. Good, Mr. Cruz. They need to know that we're championing them. So that's very important. They got this, and you got this.
Edwin Cruz dijo que vamos a demostrar apoyo de familia para mi hija en su primer día de escuela, que estamos con ella. Y claro, por supuesto, nuestros hijos tienen que saber que nosotros estamos de su lado y estamos aquí para apoyarles.
Okay. And feel free to respond to the other families who are sharing out. Give them some encouragement as well. We all need it because I know my child's starting school tomorrow too, so we need that encouragement as well. Ms. Llamas, thank you. She says, get everything ready the night before and ask my daughter. I went faster here. 1 second. And ask, it went too fast for me. So if someone else, let's see.
Dijo, get everything ready the night before and ask my daughter before bed, what can I do in the morning to help her have a great day at school?
Perfect.
As well as I myself do what I can to help her.
Very good. Ask what we can do to help. Absolutely. So,
y Ashley Llamas, sorry, Jasmine.
Go ahead.
Ashley Llamas dijo, prepararé toda la noche anterior y preguntarle a mi hija antes de acostarse qué puedo hacer en la mañana para ayudarle a tener un gran día en la escuela. Y así como yo misma hago, haré lo posible para poder ayudarle.
And then thank you, Ms. Jesus Castillo also says that she's going to talk to her son and get everything ready that they're going to need for the first day. Absolutely.
Was a hand raised.
And then I don't know if you want to translate that, Ruby.
La señora Jesús Castelo dijo, primero hoy platicar con su hijo para que reúna todo lo que va a ocupar el primer día de clases y mañana levantarnos temprano, desayunar y de camino a la escuela motivarle, platicar con él y decirle que todo va a estar bien con el favor de Dios. Un abrazote, hijo, no olvides que te amo.
You know, I didn't translate everything. It was cut off for me on my end, but what she said also was that she was going to motivate him in the mornings and tell him that everything's going to be good. And I really like this. Hug him and just tell him that you love him. So give him those encouraging words. Thank you, Ms. Castello. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for your different comments in the chat. If we didn't get to all of them, what we're going to do, we're going to close this off, and then we're going to go back and look at the different questions that were posed that may not pertain particular to the topic, but that questions that you may have. We want to make sure that we get through everyone's questions. And we do see everyone's comments. We just don't have time to go to read everyone. That's why I'm asking you for our help to go in and also respond to the different families who are sharing their thoughts and tips with us.
Les agradecemos todos sus comentarios y el compartir con nosotros, más sin embargo, tenemos muchas preguntas a las cuales tendremos que responder y por eso les pedimos que nos ayuden y nos faciliten un poco a la hora de poder ustedes interactuar con otros padres y responderles para que sea un taller más ameno y que todos se sientan alentados.
We want to feel that connection. And next slide. To close off, before we do our drawing and before I get to respond to the other questions, I want to invite someone in this space to read this quote. And if you've been to our workshops, you probably have seen this quote because we use it a lot. And we use it a lot because we really believe in the research from Henderson and Mapp, researchers in family engagement, that this is what they've found time after time after time again. And I know this is what's important to all of us here. So if anyone can read this for us, either in Spanish or in English, we can have one in Spanish, one in English. Ms. Maria Velasquez, would you like to read it? I see a hand raised.
Velasquez or
I see Marisa Velasquez.
Yes, I'll read it.
Oh, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. When school, families, and community groups work together to support learning, children tend to do better in school, stay in school longer, and like more school. And like
Absolutely.
school.
Thank you, Ms. Velasquez. Anyone who would like to read it in Spanish? Do we have another parent in Spanish?
¿Tenemos a alguien que quiera leer esta cita en español?
I see, was it Hasmin raising her hand?
It moved too fast for me. I couldn't see it. I see
Yeah.
Yari Soto.
Okay, Ms. Soto.
Buenos días a todos. Contenta
Good morning.
de empezar el ciclo escolar.
Muy bien, Ms. Yari.
Ok. Cuando la escuela, las familias y los grupos comunitarios trabajan juntos para apoyar el aprendizaje, los niños tienden a mejorar en la escuela, quedarse más tiempo en la escuela y gustarles más la escuela.
Thank you. And here, when they say, stay in school longer, that means beyond high school, okay? That's what this research says and it takes a village. So this is the village, it's all of us, we want our kids to go beyond high school, so that they really see and that they feel the support from everyone around them, whether it's the community, the school, their families, their friends. If they have everyone championing for them and opening those doors and pathways for them, they will continue on and pursue higher education. So on that note, we want to thank all of you for being here and being part of, this community. We're happy to be partnered with all of you, and we hope to be able to see you at some point, meet you beyond the screen. Like I said, we had new names in the chat, familiar names, but regardless, we're all part of the same community, whether you're starting off this educational experience with your child in kinder, as we saw some kinder parents, or whether you're a parent like myself who has a senior who's, getting ready to move on to the next chapter of their lives. Just know that we have a wealth of experience from one end to the end, and that we can all, help each other navigate these school years together. So thank you for being here.
Y aquí en esta cita en donde dice quedarse más tiempo en la escuela, básicamente lo que dice es que debemos alentar a nuestros hijos e impulsarles a que consigan una licenciatura, consigan una maestría, un doctorado, que siempre y cuando ellos, se sientan con el apoyo necesario, siempre se van a sentir capaces de lograr este tipo de logros, porque el apoyo es primordial para que ellos lo logren. También les agradecemos mucho el que estén aquí con nosotros, el que puedan invertir su tiempo con nosotros, Vimos muchos nombres nuevos, muchos nombres familiares. Nos dio mucho gusto verles a todos. Esperamos conocerles en persona pronto, así que primeramente Dios, esperamos verles pronto.
Next slide. And we leave you with our contact information. This is our email. So if you email engagingfamilies@mylusd.org, this email will go directly to my colleague Fana Blanco and myself. So either one can respond to your question, your need. And like we shared before, if for whatever reason we're unable to have the response to your question, we'll make sure that we direct you to the department or the support staff who can help you with your concern or question or need, okay? So jot that down, and that way you can have that email to contact us.
Aquí tienen nuestro correo electrónico. Les pedimos que por favor lo anoten. En caso de que tengan alguna pregunta o algo que les concierne, les pido que por favor nos contacten mediante ese correo electrónico, y ese correo, la información o los correos que nos mandan nos llegan directamente a Ms. Blanco y a mí, Ms. Velasco. Así que cualquier pregunta o algo que les concierne, ahí nos vemos y estaremos muy felices de ayudarles con todo lo que podamos ayudarles.
So just some final words. You got this, and we wish you the best of luck this new school year. Remember, every new year is a new opportunity for our kids, so remember that we're here.
Así que les queremos decir que ustedes pueden con todo esto. Les deseamos un muy buen año escolar y suerte en este nuevo año que se aproxima.
And then now we're going to do our drawing. And any of you who had questions, just stay at the end and we'll go through the chat and we'll respond to them. So after the drawing, if you don't have any questions, then you're free to go and start planning for tomorrow.
Y al final de la rifa les pedimos que por favor se queden aquellas personas que tuvieron preguntas para nosotros poderles responder. Y si no tienen preguntas, nos dio un gusto facilitar ese taller para ustedes.
What
again.
happened,
Again.
Ms. Mendiaz? Would you like to give up your
Yes.
your gift card? Okay. Ms. Mendiaz is part of our Equity Access and Instructional Services Department as well. So she's gonna have a spin again. She will give the card.
Ms. Mendíaz es parte de nuestro Departamento de Equidad, Acceso y Servicios de Instrucción, y ella se dio su tarjeta, su premio a alguien más.
Do we have Norma Alvarado still here? Miss Norma Alvarado?
Tenemos a Norma Alvarado aquí presente.
Hola, buenos días.
Sí, está aquí. Muy bien, Miss Alvarado. Felicidades. So, before you leave, antes de que se vaya, ¿nos puede dar su correo electrónico en el chat?
Sí, está bien.
Sí, ok.
Sí, muchas
Recuerde
gracias.
que de nada, usted por estar aquí, para poder acceder a la tarjeta de Starbucks, se va a mandar a su correo electrónico, pero tiene que abrir la tarjeta y bajarla para que la pueda utilizar.
Está muy bien, muchas
Porque a
gracias.
veces las mandamos y se nos quedan sin abrir y el dinero ahí está y sin utilizar. So, para que lo abra, ¿ok?
Está bien, muchas gracias.
Okay. It's so nice to see your faces, everyone who's still on and who's on camera. We welcome you and we look forward to partnering with you. At this time, we're going to look through the chat and see if there's any questions that were left unanswered. So if you were one of them, just give me a moment so I can go through them. But if not, you're free to go and start planning for tomorrow. Okay? Start getting everything ready. So the best of luck and please do connect with us.
Y es un gusto poderles ver los rostros. Si tienen preguntas, les invitamos a que por favor se queden para poder responder a sus preguntas. Más sin embargo, si no tienen preguntas, les deseamos un muy buen inicio de escuela mañana y toda la suerte del mundo.